Hi everyone. During this lesson, we're going to talk about asking for permission, making polite or requests. We're going to see also some other expressions of giving permission as well as refusing permission. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to list some expressions of polite language, identify these expressions in listening activity, create a short dialogue by practicing them. Some key words I have chosen for you are could I wonder, I suppose so, I don't see why not, no, not at all, I'm sorry but, I'd like to help but, I'm afraid. During the lesson, you will be able to develop the following skills: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Well, have you ever been too direct towards someone? I mean, using expressions like this: I want help, pass me the sugar, can you carry my luggage? Sometimes we forget that being too direct sounds very impolite. We want the others to be polite with us. But on the other hand, we forget or we take for granted that we're being impolite using such kind of language. Other examples of being too direct are go home, open the window, can I use the dictionary? I want to use your phone. I want to leave early. Can I sit here? I want to ask a question. So some of these, as you might notice, are kind of orders, and the others are questions. Avoiding such kind of language of being too direct, we need also to use other expressions, especially for asking for permission. We can use could I or could we? Is it okay if I? Is it okay if we? On the other side, you can see some examples. Could you help me? Could I ask you a favor? Is it okay if I leave early today? Could you carry my bags? I wonder if I could, or we wonder if we could. I wonder if you could mind my books. This kind of question asks you, this kind of sentence asks you just to have a look at someone's books. We wonder if we could leave earlier today. Or I wonder if I could use your mobile for a moment. Look, there's a difference between those expressions, those sentences that we used in the previous slide, and these examples that I have chosen for you, because that's another kind of language, a polite language. Other expressions might be, do you mind if I, or would you mind if we, would you mind opening the door? Would you mind giving some advice? Would you mind taking my photo? Look, there are other ways to ask for permission in a polite way, and you might find these. Do you mind if I take your book? Is it possible for me to use a dictionary? Do you mind if I sit here for a while? Could I possibly borrow your calculator? May I come in? Have you got another pencil? What do you think if I buy this present for you? Can I go out, please? As you might notice, we mentioned some expressions that are a polite way of asking something or making a polite request, such as, do you mind? Is it possible? Could I possibly? May I? Have you got? What do you think? Can I go? Well, when we ask, we need also to know some expressions of giving permission, and they might vary in different ways, such as, well, okay, I suppose so. Yes, that's fine. No problem. Sure, I don't see why not. No, not at all. Go ahead. Yes, of course. Yes, it's my pleasure. Yeah, sure. Yes, you may. Yes, of course. Be my guest. Certainly, be my guest. Not a problem. We need to know these expressions of giving permission, but on the other side, we've got even expressions of refusing permission. Some of them might be, I'm sorry, but I'd like to help, but I'm afraid. Yes, I do. Actually, I'm afraid. I'm sorry that will not be possible. I would rather that you didn't. I'm afraid that's out of the question. Not a chance. Since we are at refusing, I would like you to recall another moment, especially when someone asks you or invites you to go somewhere. Oh, you should be careful not to answer to him or her in a way such as, no, I won't, because it sounds very abrupt, very impolite. Instead of using that kind of language, you can answer to your friend, well, I'm afraid I can't, or I'm afraid I can't make it. Well, there's a video that I have chosen for you from the BBC Learning English site, and let us watch and enjoy it together. In this video, you will listen to some other ways how to soften our English and avoid being too much direct.
Hi, Sean here for BBC Learning English. In this masterclass, we're going to look at something British people love doing, being polite. No, I'm not coming to your party this evening. Wow, this food is disgusting. Give me some of your lunch. Now, sometimes it's okay to be direct or even blunt with your friends, but it's important not to sound rude, particularly in the workplace. We're going to look at 4 ways you can soften your language to make you more polite. Okay, listen to these 2 requests. Which one sounds more polite and less direct, and why? Number 1.
Pick me up on your way to the party this evening.
Or number 2.
I was hoping you could give me a lift to the party.
Now, number 2 is much more polite. We soften requests and suggestions and questions by using past forms, continuous forms, or both. For example, I was wondering if you could give me a lift later. We can also make requests softer by using a negative question with a question tag. So, you couldn't give me a lift later, could you? Well, I don't suppose you could pick me up tonight, could you? Okay, listen to these 2 opinions. Which do you think sounds less direct and more polite? Number 1
You're too young to get married.
or number 2?
I reckon you're a little young to be getting married.
Yeah, the second one is much less direct, it's softer. We use verbs like reckon, guess, feel to make your opinions less direct. You can also use vague expressions like sort of, kind of, a little bit. It also helps if you make it into a question. Aren't you kind of young to be getting married? Okay, now listen to these 2 problems. Which one sounds less direct? The first one
You've made a mistake in this report.
or the second one?
You seem to have made a mistake here.
Yes, the second one was softer, less direct. We introduce problems with verbs like seem and appear, soften them. So you appear to have saved over all my documents. You can also use these to introduce your own problems. So, I seem to have lost those reports you wanted. these two ways of refusing an invitation. Which one sounds less direct? Number one?
No, I'm not coming to your party this evening.
Or number two?
I'm not sure I'll be able to make it to your party this evening.
Okay, again, the second one, much softer, less direct. We find it really hard to say no. So instead, we use tentative language to soften it. So, I'm not sure I'll make it to your party, or it's looking unlikely I'll be able to come this evening. This basically means I'm not coming. Now, to find out more about avoiding being too direct and to practice not being rude, I was hoping you would check out our website, bbclearningenglish.com. See you.
Well, I hope you found this video enjoyable, but above all, very helpful and an interesting way how to give your opinion in a softer way, in a polite way, and how to avoid being too much direct. Now let's practice together. It's time to practice, and I have chosen for you some examples, some sentences. Let us have a look at them together. Lend me your calculator. Could you lend me your calculator? Let me use your phone. Is it okay if I use your phone? I want to open the window. Do you mind if I open the window? We want to leave early. We were wondering if we could leave early. So, as you might have noticed, there's a difference between the first sentence and the second one. The first sentence sounds much abrupt, much impolite, while the second one sounds very polite. I hope you can recall also the expressions that we saw during this presentation that we mentioned together, such as could I, could we, is it okay if I, or if we, do you mind if I, or we were wondering if we could. Well, next slide, there's a task for you. And in this task, I would like to invite you to write a conversation asking for permission to do something either at school or somewhere else. Also mind that you should follow these steps. First of all, decide on the situation, why you need permission and who from. You might use your own ideas, but never forget to apply the expressions that we saw during this presentation. And practice your conversation as much as possible. Well, thank you for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Goodbye.